Hey everybody, and Tony here, and what the freaking hell did I just watch? Wow, I have never seen a film that is so devoid of any substance, devoid of any tension, and devoid of any charisma that this basically has all the pizzazz of a brick wall. And what did I get myself into this time? Just by watching this film, all thanks to me participating in my dear friend Tony Watley II's, aka the Black Critic Guy's Puke Cinema live reaction, which is every Wednesday, and I'm pretty much a glutton for punishment for this type of dreck. Anyways, I'm getting way too ahead of myself, and if you haven't noticed already, this is basically my review slash mega rant of the dreck known as Fateful Findings, which was released to a film festival in Seattle on May 25, 2013. It was directed, written, and produced by Neil Breen. The cinematographer was John Mastrogiacomo, and it stars the quote-unquote talents of Neil Breen, Clara Landrat, Jennifer Autry, Victoria Viverios, David Silva, John Henry Hoffman, Gloria Hoffman, Danielle Andrade, David Scott, Steven Nelson, Richard Hunsaker, David Miranda, J.R. Thompson, Ryan Collis, and Jamie Reborn. Now, I was quite blissfully ignorant about this film's existence, and as I watched Tony's rant on this dreck, I was also blissfully aware of just how deeply crummy it was. And oh boy, was I ill prepared of what I was gonna get myself into. And after watching this dreck in its entirety, I could safely say that this piece of crap is stripped of any merit, any dignity, and any type of creative mindset that it has, and it just basically threw everything out the window, and we're left with something that is so bland, yet just so mind-numbingly stupid and putrid and absolutely dull. Now, going to the story, this dreck combines flaccidity, sporadic moments, what the F moments, and a very slow pace, and combines them into one dangerously horrible, building block of this thing. I did not get any tension from this said story, and here it is billing itself as a thriller, supernatural, mystery, romance, drama story. There is no thrills. There is none of the thrills, the chills, the tension, and all of those elements that really make a film like this come alive. All I see are basically a lot of dull moments, a lot of trash-talking exposition, and the writing is just so god-awful. And every time the characters speak, which I will gladly talk about later, it's like they sound so forced. And I haven't even talked about the acting yet. So, what more can I say about the story in this film? Everything just seems to fall apart. There is no structure. It's boring. It's bland. It's just... there's not a lot of cohesion. Everything just falls apart, and we're left with a lot of blandness and a lot of moments where things go too quickly, things go too slow. There is not a lot of time for everything to be developed. It's like everything is just thrown into a blender, and what we get is absolute dreck. Bland, absolute dreck. That's what the story is in this freaking thing. And the cinematography is okay, but there are moments in which the shots drag and drag and drag. Music isn't anything special. Characters? What characters? These are basically just schnooks who managed to get themselves into this film not knowing what the hell they're doing, and there is no personality. There's no pizzazz. I can't get invested in them. I feel like I'm just wasting my time watching these schnooks do stupid things that it doesn't feel funny. It doesn't feel saddening. It doesn't feel like anything. It just feels like I'm watching these schnooks just getting themselves into this film, not knowing what the hell they're doing, and saying the dumbest and most retarded lines, and they just make themselves out to have no characterization whatsoever. And the acting, oh my word. Wooden is an understatement. There is no soul. There is no life. There is no pizzazz. The actors in this film have the charisma of either A, a brick wall, a box of rocks, a stack of twigs, or all of the above. They inject no personality whatsoever. And every time they say their lines, it seems as though that it's rushed, and it basically feels like they just read off the script with only a basic idea of what they're going to say without the needed subtext, without any type of distinction whatsoever, and without that extra oomph that really makes a performance. I should know. I've studied acting for quite some time, and I could tell you that the performances here have no life, have absolutely no pizzazz, and I am left with a bunch of people who barely have any experience in acting whatsoever, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know the subtleties of their own texts. They don't know how to emote. It seems as though that just by watching these people, they're monotone. They are totally flat. They sound dead. They sound uninterested. They sound bored. They sound absolutely... they just sound absolutely dead in this film, with no oomph to their lines, with no pizzazz, no charisma, and no enthusiasm. It's like they're just basically there just to be in this film, that they think that they could just say their lines right away and then just get this over with. So overall, this piece of cinema crap is a combination of something that drags and drags and drags while having the charisma of a brick wall, and at the same time having no cohesive direction. Everything just falls apart in this film, and I can't even call this a film. I think that Tony did have another word to call something like, I can't even remember the title of this film anymore. Oh yes. Something about fate. You know, there is just nothing that is worth writing home about this film anymore. It's just so bland and so stupid, and I practically felt like this was practically a big fat waste of my time and should be avoided at all costs. So you know damn well I am going to give this film, yeah, the big fat 0 out of 5. Yeah, I have to agree with Tony, aka the Black Critic guy, with this film. It is one of the... No. This is the worst piece of shit I have ever seen in the longest time. I mean, I have seen bad films before. Tarzan 2013, Kumba, Abominable Christmas, Home Alone 4. Oh yes, lest I forget about the likes of Food Fight, The Room, Birdemic 1 and 2. And I don't know if I haven't even seen all of these films to say that this is the worst ever. In fact, I would go out of my way to say that I would say that this film is worse than Birdemic. And what the hell did I see on IMDb marking this 4.4 out of 10? In fact, it should be marked lower. There is no substance to this film whatsoever. The actors were absolutely bland and flat in their dialogue, and everything seems to fall apart from beginning to end with no cohesion and an overall sense of blandness that I cannot take this film seriously. Goodness gracious. And for those of you who would dare see this dreck, then I say just don't bother at all. Just don't. Even if it's just out of morbid curiosity, then please do not bother with this freaking piece of Neil Breen's catastrophe. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a catastrophe. I am totally done with this dreck. And I don't know what I'm going to review to salvage it. Either an album or some opera production, anything, just anything that would make me just wash away the bland slash bitter slash awful aftertaste of this said film. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning into this rant. I know I went off the handle, but this was a film that really hurt me on the inside, and it's just, everything just seemed to fall apart. And don't forget to support me on Patreon, and this is Antoni signing off, wishing you all a good night, and I don't know what I'm going to review tomorrow.